Dear students, this is our 16th lecture of unit alcohols and phenols, and we were discussing chemical properties of alcohols. So we started with their chemical properties of alcohols. We were studying those reactions in which this oxygen hydrogen bond breaks. This also shows these are acidic compounds, so they can act as Bronsted acids. So today we will do a very important reaction called Fischer esterification reaction, which involves the cleavage of this OH bond. So let us start. First let us see what is a Fischer esterification. So Fischer esterification, it converts carboxylic acids and alcohols directly to esters by an acid catalyzed nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. So first of all, it is a reaction between carboxylic acids. Suppose I will write carboxylic acids R C O O H. This is carboxylic acid reaction with alcohol in the presence of an acid catalyst H positive. So acid catalyst, this gets converted to RC double bond OR dash plus water. So that is your esterification reaction. This is your esterification reaction in which a carboxylic acid, it reacts with an alcohol in presence of an acid catalyst. It can be any mineral acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, etc. Generally sulfuric acid is preferred. Then it forms your ester. This is your ester which is formed plus water. Now this reaction is called Fischer esterification, and this is an equilibrium reaction. You can see it is a reversible reaction. Why it is reversible? Because under same conditions esters, it gets hydrolyzed to give you carboxylic acid and alcohol. So this reaction can occur in forward as well as backward reaction under acidic catalyst condition. So it is a reversible reaction, and this reaction, esterification reaction, can also take place in the absence of this catalyst, but the reaction will be very slow. It will take around 10-15 days to form some ester. So if we add acid catalyst, it fastens the reaction. It still remains equilibrium reaction, but now this equilibrium will be established quickly, as catalysts do not disturb equilibrium. They just help to achieve that equilibrium fastly when we don't have a catalyst. So under acidic catalyst conditions, these carboxylic acids, they react with alcohols to give you ester, and it is a reversible reaction. Now if we want to increase the yield of ester, if we want to make more of yield, then what we can do? First thing is we can keep removing water. So first thing is we can keep removing water. This can be done with the distillation. You can do azeotropic distillation to remove this water, or you can also add molecular sieves. So molecular sieves, they are very small granules which absorbs moisture. You can add molecular sieves. You can take help of molecular sieves or distillation to remove this water. Now if we keep on removing this water, then according to your Le Chatelier's principle, what will happen? This equilibrium will move in forward direction. One thing is that keep removing water. The another thing that we can do, we can use excess of alcohol. The second method is to use excess of alcohol. This will also increase the yield of esters according to Le Chatelier principle, which says that whenever we disturb equilibrium, then the reaction, it tends to achieve equilibrium. Now if we add more alcohol, the equilibrium will be disturbed. Then what will happen? It will try to produce more ester so that the equilibrium can again be retained. So this is all about your Fischer esterification reaction. Basically it is a reaction between carboxylic acid and alcohol which is catalyzed by an acid, and it is a reversible reaction. So in order to increase the yield of this our product ester, we either can remove water by your distillation or with the help of molecular sieves, or you can use excess of alcohols, and it is a type of nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. This position is called acyl. So you can see basically what is happening. This OH group is getting replaced by OR dash group. So OH group is also nucleophile OH negative. OR dash is also a nucleophile OR dash, so this is called nucleophilic. Now this RCO center is called acyl group. This is acyl group, so that's why it is called nucleophilic acyl substitution. So it is an example of nucleophilic acyl substitution. Generally, carboxylic acids they react slowly with the nucleophiles, so that's why we need this acid catalyst. Acid catalyst is required. Acid catalyst, it increases the electrophilicity of this carbon. Acid catalysts increases the electrophilicity of this carbonyl carbon of this carbon, so that nucleophiles can attack easily. Nucleophiles can attack easily, so that is why we require acid catalyst. Now we will see how this acid catalyst, it helps to increase the electrophilic character of this carbon, so that the attack of nucleophile becomes easy. Otherwise, carboxylic acid, if we don't use any acid catalyst, they react very slowly with your nucleophile. So our nucleophile will be this alcohol. In today's reaction, our nucleophile is alcohol. And if we have to write order of reactivity, then primary, first we will see order of reactivity of alcohols. So you can say primary alcohols, they are more reactive than secondary alcohols, which are more reactive than tertiary alcohol. And your methanol is most reactive. So this methanol is most reactive than primary alcohol, than secondary alcohol, than tertiary alcohol. We will try to explain this order when we will discuss its mechanism. And if we have to talk about your acids, order of reactivity of acids, this again is that formic acid is most reactive, then your acetic acid, then your, if we have any RCH2 COOH, then goes your R2 CH COOH, which is more reactive than your R3 COOH. That means this order of reactivity is based on their steric hindrance, steric effects. So we can explain this order of reactivity of alcohols as well as your carboxylic acids with the help of steric effects. So methanol is most reactive than primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohols. If acids, formic acid, which is least, which is smaller, it is most reactive than acetic acid. Then your this RCH2COOH, then R2CHCOOH, then R3CCOH, means with the substitution their reactivity decreases. Now let us with this background of this esterification reaction, let us try to write their mechanism. As I have already told you that this esterification is an acyl acid catalyzed nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. Now let us do first thing is we have carboxylic acid. Now as this carbon is less electrophilic, so what we do, we add proton. So addition of proton, this is catalyst, so to make this carbon more acidic. So now what will happen, this proton will go to this oxygen, so C double bond OH positive OH. Now this is a resonance stabilized like this, so you can write here it is resonance stabilized. And whenever we have to write resonance, we have to use this double arrow, you have to be very careful. So RCOH OH. Now you can see with the help of this acid catalyst, now this carbon has a positive charge, so that means it is more electrophilic. So this acid catalyst has increased the electrophilic character of this carbon. Now in the next step, our alcohol, which is our nucleophile, this nucleophile will attack. Now plus I will write R dash OH. Now this alcohol, you can show either it can attack here like this, or you can also show it from here. Both are correct. You can show either from directly this resonating structure you can show, it will attack here, this electron will shift here. So both are correct. So when this alcohol attacks, what will form? R C O H O H O R dash positive. Now it gets a positive charge. This oxygen has a positive charge. So this is your intermediate. Now this is very important. This first intermediate, it tells us about the rate of reaction. So this stability of this intermediate, it governs the rate of reaction, that how the, as the order that I have written here, that these less sterically hindered alcohols and carboxylic acids, they are more reactive. Now the hybridization at this carbon is sp2. So once we take nucleophile, it becomes a sp3 hybridized center. Now sp2 hybridized have an angle of 120 degree, and this sp3 has an angle of 109 degree 28 minutes. Now that means when it has to change from sp to sp3, the atoms, these molecules, they have to come closer. Now if they are bigger in size, that will hinder the change from 120 degree to 109 degree 28 minutes. Smaller the size of substituents, more easily it can get converted from sp2 to sp3. If the size of these this size of this and size of this is bigger, then it will hinder to change the, because they are bulky, so they will tend to go far away from one another, so they will hinder the change of angle from 120 degree to 109 degree 28 minutes. So that's why their reaction, it depends upon steric factors. Those substituents which are smaller in size, their reactivity is more. That's what we have written. Methanol smaller than primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol, because their size goes on increasing. Similarly for acids, formic acid is more reactive than your acetic acid, than your these substituted carboxylic acids, RCH2, R2, CH, R3, C, COOH. So that is how you can explain this, the order of reactivity of these alcohols and carboxylic acids for esterification reaction, which depends upon your steric factors. Now after this, what happens? This intermediate, it also has hydrogen, so I have to make a little bit of correction here. So it also has hydrogen. Yeah, this now it is correct. This gets a positive charge. This oxygen has a positive charge. Now because it also contains the hydrogen, so that is what the first step is. Now what happens is that there is a proton shift. This proton shift occurs. Proton shift. So after proton shift, what happens? So what happens? This hydrogen gives its electrons here, and this hydrogen, it moves from this to this. So there is a shift of proton. So what we get after proton shift, it is R C O H. Now here comes your OH2 positive. This proton, it gets shifted from this oxygen to this oxygen. Now it becomes OR dash. Okay. Now in the next step, as you all can see, it will be your elimination of water. So this will come here and this will go here. So next is minus water. So if we remove water, what will be formed? R C double bond OH positive and OR dash. This water has been removed by this step. In the next step, you all of you can guess, as H positive is a catalyst. So far we have utilized this. Now we have to regenerate it. So in the next step, I will write here R C double bond OH OR dash positive. What will happen? This will shift here. It is minus H positive. So minus H positive. So what will happen? R C double bond OR dash. So that is OR dash. So OR dash. So this is your ester. So that is the mechanism of this reaction. It is quite easy So first step is addition of catalyst. It increases the electrophilic character of this carbon. Second step is attack of nucleophile. Nucleophile is alcohol. In this reaction, the nucleophile is alcohol, which is your nucleophile. Okay, now this nucleophile, it attacks this carbon. You can show either from this or either from this, both are correct. So in the next step there is a proton transfer, or we can say proton shift, 1,3 proton shift. So this is formed. Next step is elimination of water. So the water removes, and then it is regeneration of catalyst to get your ester. So you can actually divide this into two steps. First step is addition of alcohol. Second step is the removal of water. It composed of two steps: addition of alcohol with the removal of water. And overall you can see this OH group has been replaced by this OR dash, and both are nucleophiles, OH dash, OR dash. So that's why this is also called your nucleophilic acyl substitution. Why acyl? Because this substitution has taken place, this acyl carbon RC double bond O group is called acyl group. RC double bond O group is called acyl group. So that is why this is also called nucleophilic acyl substitution, because one nucleophile has replaced the another nucleophile. So it is a substitution reaction. So now let us see what we can do with your isotope tracer study. So what is the need of these studies? So now I have, once again I will write the reaction RCOOH. This is your carboxylic acid plus R dash OH. This reaction will takes place with elimination of water. It is a reversible reaction. You get RCOOR dash plus water. Now this water, it can be removed in two ways. So I will show you. I will write these two steps again. So how we can remove this water? RCOH plus HOR dash. First thing is OH group of carboxylic acid and H of alcohol. So this gives you your ester RCOOR dash plus water. First possibility is this. Let us name this A. Now the second possibility can be this RC double bond OH plus HOR dash, means H of your carboxylic acid and OH of your alcohol. It removes it is removed minus water. So you get RC double bond OR dash plus water. Now which is correct? Suppose give it B. Now out of these pathways, which is correct, whether A or whether B, we have to validate this. And according to our mechanism, the mechanism that we have given, it is the OH bond that breaks. So you can see here this OH bond has broken, and this COH has been removed. This has been removed. Carboxylic acid, you can see here the COH. That means the first pathway is correct, where this is broken and this is broken. So the mechanism that we have given, according to that, the reaction has to take place through this pathway. Now how to validate this? So this can be validated using isotope tracer studies, where what we do, we replace this oxygen of alcohol with its isotope. Generally oxygen has atomic number 16. What we do, we will make an alcohol which contains O18 oxygen. It is called labeled oxygen. So what we will do, we will do reaction between RCOOH plus HOR dash O18. Now it is called labeled oxygen. That means it is second isotope of oxygen. So these are isotope tracer studies. Now when they form the product, what they get, RCOOR dash 18 plus water. Now they analyzed where that labeled oxygen went. So when they found that it was contained in ester, so they found that ester contains your labeled oxygen and water has no labeled oxygen. Now if the reaction has taken place by path A, so path A Now I will label it, suppose O18 for your reference. Then it is O18, then here is your O18 goes here. Okay, now if the reaction goes by path A, then O18 remains in ester. If it goes by path B, then O18 goes to your water. Now in actual practice it was observed that this 18 oxygen it went to esters, that means path A is correct. So when they experimentally analyze where that O18 went, it went to ester, so it can only went to ester if the reaction takes place through path A. Now the path A is in accordance with our mechanism that we have proposed for this reaction. So from this isotope tracer studies we can confirm that this R dash OH, this bond breaks because this goes to ester. Now you can see this bond is breaking. So that is how isotope tracer studies helps you in determining in validating your proposed mechanism. Now the mechanism that we are proposing here, we have validated this mechanism using isotope tracer studies. Now if our mechanism was correct, the 18 oxygen has to go to ester, and in actual practice when it was analyzed experimentally they found the same, that 18 oxygen, when the reaction was carried out with the labeled oxygen of alcohol, the isotope of oxygen goes to ester. Now it can take place on, it can go to ester only when the reaction takes place through pathway A. So that is how you can validate your mechanism of a reaction with isotope tracer studies. So that was all for today. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Please don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.